Join me in welcoming Mr. Monish Vora, who is the EVP and Head of Operations at SBI Cards. Now, there are a lot of trends are emerging, like with AI coming in. What, as per you, are the emerging trends which you think would be the next, say, revolution in customer experience?
Biggest trend, in my opinion, is going to be the true omni-channel experience.
When we see the impact which we create, right, when we analyze the problem using a data and then we create a solution around it and then we see the impact, I think. So if you can share some example, I think that would be...
You're so right. Data is all pervasive. It's like the air that you're breathing. And I always say data is like the currency in your pocket. It's of little use unless you put it to use.
I think you were the first one, I think, who started using bots, I think. Ela was, one of the, initial...
We're extremely proud of that.
What is the key factor which people generally overlook and then they fail?
The one big factor is flexibility.
How do you manage that, the true spirit of business to the entire team at all levels, front end and back end, everything?
You have to be very clear and transparent in what you want.
Younger professional in customer experience field, what are those top 5 or 7 advices which you like to give?
I'll just give them one piece of advice.
One quality every customer experience leader must have.
Empathy.
So describe the future of digital transformation in 3 words.
Do or die.
AI in customer service, a game changer or just an hype?
AI is a...
Hello everyone. Welcome to one more episode of Mastering Spokes. Today we have the privilege of meeting someone who has got 28 years of experience in industries like banking, insurance, telecom, and who has been a key person in driving various impactful digital transformation journey in various large organizations. So join me in welcoming Mr. Monish Vora, who is the EVP and Head of Operations at SBI Cards. SBI Card is one of the largest credit card issuers in the country. They have more than 20 million subscribers right now. In today's episode, we will uncover how to use data effectively, how to balance AI and human touch, and how to create scalable and large operation team. So first of all, Manish, thank you for sparing time and joining us today for this podcast. And we really looking for a very fruitful discussion with you. With so much of experience you have, I think we will be able to extract something very unique for our viewers and which they can use in their businesses, their careers, and they can learn a lot from you. Personally, I'm looking forward to learn a lot from you from this podcast too. So I think before we start, let's start with what you've been doing today. Like you've been leading SBI Card now almost over, I think, a decade now, right, into customer experience journey. So how do you keep up with our evolving expectation of customer experience in a digital first world?
So first of all, Deepak, thank you so much for this opportunity, and I think lovely being here with you, sharing my thoughts, and the learning is a two-way street. So I'm sure I'll learn quite a bit from an experienced person like you who's been at the forefront of customer experience and technology for the last so many years. I think customer experience, when we say ना, हम ये एक बहुत बड़ा सा word बोल देते हैं, customer experience, customer engagement. It boils down to a very simple thing. Ultimately, your expectation is as what you are expecting as a customer is what you should expect the customer to expect from you as well.
Absolutely.
So, we may keep on saying needs are evolving, technology is evolving, things are evolving. But ultimately, the fact is that for you to be able to meet the customer expectations, there is only one thing. You have to be ahead of what that expectation is.
Right.
You have to anticipate. And the simplest thing to do that is, पहले आप अपना घर देखिए.
Right.
सबसे पहले तो ये देखिए कि आप जो कर रहे हैं वो करने की जरूरत भी है, आप वो ठीक तरीके से कर रहे हैं.
Right.
Can you do it better? I call it E3.
Okay.
Basically, the exercise is to delve into your processes
Right.
and find out, is there a need for the process? If not, eliminate it. That's the first E.
Okay. Right.
If you cannot eliminate it, then let the customer do it. So empower the customer to do it.
Right.
And only if that is not possible, then you use the third E, which is you empower, you enable your people,
Right.
your agents, your frontline, your backend staff to be able to help the customer do it. So customer journey mapping, again, बड़े word use करते हैं हम to do this entire thing. But the crux is कि processes change हो रहे हैं.
Right.
Because of those processes and because of technology changing,
Right.
you have to be ahead of the curve on the customer.
Right.
So only two things that you need to keep in mind is the fact is that the experience that a customer has with you is not only dependent upon what he or she interacts with you, your people.
Right.
I'll give you an example, right?
Right.
Logistics today is, I think, the biggest game changer. No?
Right.
आज से 50 साल पहले घर का छोटू मैं था.
Right.
मम्मी को कुछ चाहिए था बाजार से, तो छोटू जाता था लेने के लिए।
Right.
20 साल पहले ये छोटू चेंज हो गया एंड नो छोटे किराना स्टोर्स हैं, दे रियलाइज कि होम डिलीवरी एक इंपॉर्टेंट पार्ट है।
Absolutely.
तेल खत्म हो जाता है तो इमीडिएटली चाहिए होता है,
Right.
तो कॉल करिए और आ जाता है।
Right.
आज का छोटू वो चेंज हो चुका है।
Right.
आज ब्लिंकिट और इंस्टामार्ट छोटू हैं।
Right. Right.
सो models change, processes change,
Right.
needs change, and that is why you have to be ahead of the curve. You have to figure out.
Right.
And second is you have to know what technology is doing to you, because
Right.
technology is the biggest game changer. That technology is going to enable what a customer is expecting.
Right.
So your expectation has to match what the customer is going to expect because of some technology that he is somewhere else.
Great. I think how beautifully and simply you explained. I think, and I love that 3E: eliminate, empower, and
And
enable. I think nothing can be more simpler than that. I think, and this can only come from people like you. But I think since you've been heading such a large organization, right, and every decision has a huge impact. I think SBI, I think, has over 18 million,
20 million.
20 million now, I think, card holders. So anything which you do has a large impact on a larger portfolio. So I think every decision is critical. So can you share a few examples or few incidents or strategic decisions which have impacted very hugely, or where you think that you were you were very indecisive initially, or you were very sure about it, and either it could be a disaster, or it could be something which has created a magical results into that.
I think you make a decision every day.
Right.
And that decision, and I just say that the fact is, the chance of a decision going good or bad is going to be 50%, 50%.
Right.
Probability theory says that only, right?
Right. Right.
So the important part is for you to be able to take the decision
Right.
basis the information that you have available
Right.
and what you infer from that data.
Right.
So I think one thing that really was a challenge for me, and it took me a long time, but was a great learning for me, was the entire process of outsourcing that
Okay.
we started.
All right.
Some of you may know it. Erstwhile, we were actually a kind of a in-house BPO.
In-house BPO, yeah.
But then when I joined, we realized that scale
Right.
cannot happen in the current form.
Right.
And there are experts in different fields.
Right.
Contact center experts हैं, back office experts हैं,
Right.
who are available, who are willing to do those things faster than you. Better, I won't say maybe better or not, because you know your business better.
Absolutely.
But at least they can scale up and down faster than what you'll be able to do.
Right.
So the entire thing of actually outsourcing, it's a very complex decision, because there is a financial element involved, there is a human element involved, right the way from the CEO down to the agent.
Right.
Because आप बात कर रहे हैं कि आज की डेट में जो काम हम खुद करते हैं अब हम खुद नहीं करेंगे, we'll get somebody else to do it for us.
Right.
So there is a natural resistance to that change.
Absolutely.
So these changes need to be thought through, these changes need to be worked on, and they have to be given some time to get implemented. But you have to bring the team together. I think the biggest learning that I had and the biggest decision that I made is making sure that happened. And while in hindsight everything is 2020, but the fact is that people came back and said post-COVID that was the right decision, because what we managed to do before that gave us the resilience, gave us the sustainability, gave us the flexibility to be able to manage something when everybody was down. We had partners who were willing to work with us. We had partners, when our centers were down, our partner centers were up.
Right.
So there is a lot of work that happened, and it was a big thing for us to do. Something that I still deeply regret that I've not been able to do is, I think, the pace of change is so rapid, and changes are happening so rapidly that there are times when you have to be really sure ke, do you go in for this technology right now? Do you not go in for this technology? Do you wait? Do you test it out? Do you want to be the fastest finger first?
Right.
So those decisions are the most complex decisions, because what you choose today is going to have a deeper impact, especially when you talk about businesses which are legacy businesses, जहाँ पे already एक setup है, आपको वो setup एक चलती गाड़ी के टायर चेंज करने हैं आपने.
Right.
So it's not that difficult. No?
Absolutely.
It's very difficult. It's not even a Formula 1 race जहाँ पे at least 3 सेकंड का pit stop है. यहाँ pit stop भी नहीं है.
Right.
The thing has to keep on running.
Right. Right.
So changes on the fly
Right.
are the most difficult thing to do. But then those are the most important thing to do, because businesses in the long run cannot survive because of that. So
Absolutely.
technology, the choice of right technology at the right time is, I think, I still need to grapple with that one solution.
Right.
I don't know if anybody has a solution. I'd love to hear that. What technology you use at which point of time?
In fact, precisely, this was my next question. In fact, that now there are a lot of trends are emerging, like with AI coming in, and a lot of new trends are coming, like with people talking about agentless environment. We're talking about a completely omni-channel agentless environment and all those things. So, what as per you are the emerging trends which you think can maybe would be the next say revolution in customer experience? Like what are those trends?
So, lovely question. And if I had the crystal ball, then I would be sitting, in the stock exchange
Right.
rather than here. But here are my two bits about this thing.
Right.
I think सबसे पहले the most important thing is the most abused word that we have today is omni-channel. What everybody tries to sell as omni-channel is only multi-channel.
Right.
So the biggest trend, in my opinion, is going to be the true omni-channel experience.
Right.
कस्टमर वेबसाइट पे कुछ देखेगा, डिसीजन लेगा नहीं लेगा, फॉलो आउट होगा, कॉल विल हैपन,
Right.
the call will direct the customer to do something, subsequent action. So when the chain actually transforms from one channel to the other channel seamlessly, and it happens both ways
Right.
as well, right? That is true omni-channel. When we use all our resources, and that includes physical resources,
Right.
physical as well as digital resources, when we use them seamlessly, and the day is not far because we are seeing those trends happening.
Right.
Multi-channel has to involve into an omni-channel. Chat hands over to live chat when the need is.
Right.
Website follow-ups do get followed up on. But I think there with data
Right.
and the power of computing going up,
Right.
this will become so real time that it will become seamless. Because
Right.
today the problem is that एक चैनल से दूसरे चैनल के बीच में जो linkages हैं, that to pass on data, to pass on context,
Right. You broke it.
that is now getting built. So
Right.
now those nerve endings are meeting,
Right.
right? And then now it is possible for information to be exchanged real time, so that the context can be exchanged real time.
Right.
And this is going to be a big game changer.
Right.
The second thing that I look at is obviously in terms of all the tools that we talk about, right?
Right.
But ultimately the biggest tool that we have with us is data.
Right.
Right. So data inferencing for hyper personalization, and I call it a segment of one. It is Deepak Kashyap and Monish Vora and individuals, we are very, very different. Everybody recognizes that.
Right.
We are not the 16-digit card numbers that you and I hold. We are not the 10-digit mobile numbers that you and I hold. But that is what the organization recognizes us when they try to service.
Absolutely.
So again, data inferencing, which will give right product to pitch at the right time, that is hyper personalization. Right? Contextual servicing, which will tell me, or predictive servicing, which will tell me कि customer को ये problem हो सकती है.
Right.
Customer can have this angst.
Right.
And there are already use cases which are there, and there are use cases which have been kind of in the market. But this will, I think, gain more momentum
Right.
to take the true segment of one, where you will get what you desire at the right time.
Right.
And I will not reach out to somebody for us help.
Right.
So that, I think, is the second biggest trend which is going to happen.
Right.
The third thing that I see is the channel. The channel is, I think WhatsApp is going to overtake any other channel. WhatsApp is already, a major channel, but it's going to be ubiquitous now.
Right.
It is going to be more pervasive than voice, email, anything. So because that is the simplest and easiest channel for anybody to converse, interact with.
Right.
And you have got tools, you got chat on tool, you got anything and everything on WhatsApp that you can interact on. So I think that is one thing that is going to become a ubiquitous, the most preferred channel of communication.
Right.
The fourth trend that I see emerging is a lot of leveraging between partners.
Right.
Because of all the data and the data linkages and interlinkages between partners, people will find use cases where they can collaborate to offer a customer a seamless experience. So, as an organization, I can offer you a seamless experience.
Right.
But can I collaborate with a third party to give you that same seamless experience? So it's like in-app purchases, those things are going to really go and take everything by storm, because the customer, ultimately customer को तो एक solution चाहिए. Customer, especially when we talk about credit card is only a payment instrument, right?
Right.
It's like a cash. आप cash करेगा, credit card use कर रहे हैं. Ultimately, there is a product that you're buying.
Absolutely.
So that product is more important for you than the mode of payment.
Absolutely.
So those linkages of what you're buying and when you're buying is more important than how you're buying.
Absolutely.
So those linkages will become, and I'm taking example only from my domain because that is more salient for me, but this is true across all domains where, you will find linkages happening between partners who are complementary,
Right.
and they are supplementary to each other.
Right.
So these trends, and the final trend that for any AI to be successful is going to be humanizing AI.
Right.
We've heard a lot about ethical AI. We've heard a lot about hallucinations and the other stuff. But ultimately, when the rubber hits the road, the fact is AI will be only able to deliver
Right.
if people trust it,
Right.
both the consumer and the user.
Absolutely.
आज की डेट में वो ना वो there is a very gray area.
Right.
Neither the user is trusting it too much, nor even the person who's using it is trusting it too much.
Right. Right.
So humanization of AI will have to happen
Right.
for AI to actually get proliferated, and it will get proliferated.
Great. So I think we were talking about data. So can you share some real example where, since you sit on a large data, in fact, you manage, I think, millions or trillions of transactions happening around the platform. So can you share any real life example, like where you have identified a certain set of problems and then thought through data and then just given you a result? Because in general, data is the new oil, but when we see the impact which we create, right, when we analyze the problem using a data and then we create a solution around it and then we see the impact, I think. So if you can share some example, I think that would be really helpful to the chat.
You're so right. Data is all pervasive. It's like the air that you're breathing.
Right.
And I always say data is like the currency in your pocket.
Okay.
It's of little use unless you put it to use. And the only use that you put it is to analytics, which will give you an insight on action.
Right.
Ultimately, data without a actionable intelligence is of really no use.
Right.
Today you've got so much volume. It's not just the volume of data.
Right.
It's the velocity of data. Data moves so fast,
Absolutely.
right? And then there's so much variety of data.
Right.
हमारे कॉन्टेक्स्ट में अगर आप देखिए, बट कस्टमर का ट्रांजैक्शन डेटा है, कस्टमर का पर्सनल डेटा है, कस्टमर का यूजेज डेटा है, डेमोग्राफिक डेटा. देयर आर सो मच. देयर इज कॉल डेटा, there is a email history, there is a social history, there is so much data that is available that
Right.
you have to be sure what is the data that you're using and what are you going to use it for.
Right.
So very early on we realize कि data तो है, but पहले इस data को use किस लिए करना है, we should know that. So I remember, interestingly, when you put this to my mind,
Right.
what comes is we did very early on, we did an exercise on doing predictive churn.
Okay.
So, card usage, retention is a big thing. Ultimately,
Absolutely.
card customer, if he comes to close his card, it's money down the drain for us as well. And because we've invested, the customer has invested, we've invested, the partners have invested in bringing him on board, and the customer wants to churn.
Right.
So the intuitive thing would be to say the customer would be churning because the customer is not happy with you. Now, customer cannot be happy about two things: either the product
Right.
or the services that you're offering.
Absolutely.
Now, how do you get this? What is the customer actually not happy with? And secondly, बहुत एक complicated trend ये है कि customer when the customer wants to attract, you're not really too sure that the stated reason is actually the actual reason.
Absolutely. Right.
So customer, because वो customer का कार्ड बंद करना है,
Right. Right.
तो वो contact center फोन करके बोलेगा तो ये कि मेरा कार्ड गुम गया.
Right.
Right, I have no use, I'm shifting, I'm doing. So, but is that really the reason or not? I'm not doubting all the customers. The fact is that,
Right.
it is in his interest to close the card as soon as possible. So,
Right.
data inferencing behind what could be the actual reason for churn is, one is the stated reason.
Right.
Second is, we decided to go back and check what are the leading indicators. कस्टमर आज अगर चर्न करने के लिए आया, पिछले 3 महीने 6 महीने में क्या हुआ कस्टमर के
What was the
साथ?
behavior? Yeah.
So how has the behavior been?
Right.
So we put the data to that test, and then we came up with the team actually came up with 96 parameters to start with
Okay.
of predicting churn, and then we cut it down and figured that there are 12 significant parameters,
Okay.
that can possibly predict churn. Nobody can really predict to an accuracy, but then
Right.
we started using this, and what we did is we said that we will use this to preempt
Right.
churn, right? How we'll use that is that if any of customer is falling into the red bracket,
Right.
we will need to make interventions proactively before the customer comes to us.
Right.
So we put that model, and it tested pretty well.
Okay.
And
Great.
worked pretty well.
Right.
So it really helped us in retaining those customers who were on the borderline.
Okay.
See, a customer who's already decided for whatever reason, a customer who's shifting, moving out, obviously, who has no use for it, will not take your card.
Right.
But somebody who has, who's on the borderline, you're able to really keep that customer with you. So I think that was one big use case that we had for data that was really, really successful.
Right.
Another use case that we had is, again, looking at the data patterns is in terms of upsell and cross sell. Typically, contact center हम बोलते हैं is a cost center, but for us and for most people now, contact center is a profit center.
Profit
Because
center, yes.
the deal is that if a customer is happy with you, you can pitch the customer.
Right.
Right?
Sell
You
more.
can upsell, you can cross sell, you can sell other products to him.
Right.
But what to pitch and when to pitch and whom to be pitched by,
Right.
they're very different things. So if a customer is coming to you, you have to pitch the right product at the right time.
Right.
And that you cannot always leave it to the nuances of the agent.
Right.
Agent, you need some guide to the agent.
Right.
So basis the data and the propensity of customers and other related data, we came up with a model of what to pitch at what time
Okay.
and also how to pitch it.
Right.
So we created scripts around it, we created training around it, and we saw good uptick in the conversion rates, which is ultimately what you want.
Absolutely. Great. So I think you were the first one, I think, who started using bots. I think Ela was, one of the initial,
We're extremely proud of that.
yeah. So I would just want to understand the journey, like how was the journey, what was the impact, and how people took it, and when did it start giving you results?
So very interesting. In fact, I always treat Ela like
Right.
for me it was a newborn child, right?
Right.
And we trained it, and I can proudly say personally trained it as a kindergarten child, है ना?
Right.
Like you would train, जैसे बच्चा है वो स्कूल जाना शुरू करता है,
Right.
जो आप उसको ट्रेन करेंगे, जैसे ट्रेन करेंगे,
Right.
वो रिस्पॉन्स वैसे ही देगा.
Right. Right.
So that is the first thing that I told my team, that this is, you are the tutors.
Right.
ये तो सिर्फ एक बच्चा है जिसको आपने ट्रेन करना है to be your clone.
Right.
Ultimately, the trainer, the supervisor, the agent have to make your own clone
Right.
so that can proliferate. That can help the customer. So the journey was very, very exasperating at times, because biggest thing in a bot is a chatbot particularly is to get the intent right.
Right.
And it needs so many iterations to work through. But I think that is where the fun is also. Getting down to the brass tacks. And it's like,
Right.
बच्चे को जब आप बड़ा करते हैं, when you sit with the kids at home, those who have small kids would probably relate to it. That journey of getting a child to grow up,
Right.
I find Ela very similar to that.
Great.
And it graduated, and उसके marks बढ़ते गए, passing marks निकले, 70, 80, 90, and today it is beyond distinction. अच्छा, it is performing very well because of the effort that you put. See, ultimately, I think सबसे बड़ी problem हम बोलते हैं tool अच्छा है खराब है.
Right. Right.
Tool तो tool है.
Right.
It is आपने कितनी मेहनत करी है उस tool को deploy करने में.
Right. Right.
जो user हैं, जो the people who know,
Right.
if they put their heart and soul into it, and it's a lot of effort.
Absolutely.
It's a lot of effort, but then if you put in the right effort, it will give you rich dividends.
Great. I think I can understand how it must have evolved. But have you felt any initial resistance in terms of from customer side or from your team side in terms of deploying it? Okay.
Absolutely. So resistance to any change, I think the biggest thing that you need to manage in technology is change.
Right.
25-30 साल पहले everybody had to fight computers as well, right, to get them into today we find a similar challenge with AI, and that was a similar challenge because see, there is a fear of unknown. It's more of a fear of unknown than anything else.
Right.
So the users, obviously the biggest fear that even today people have is
Right. Right.
AI going to replace everybody.
Right. Right.
So that fear was there 5 years ago also when we were talking about it, because
Right.
the people who have to train it, now ultimately the people who have to train it, if they feel threatened,
Right.
now you will not train it.
Right.
So you have to first of all tell these people that no, it is not a replacement.
Right.
It is a support for you.
Support.
The purpose is not to replace you. They will never be able to replace you.
Right.
And that is not what the intent is.
Right.
And it's easier said than done. But then you have to kind of bring it logically to them.
Right.
And the simple logic that we put forward is
Right.
the rate at which we are growing.
Right.
If we do not make any technology changes,
Right.
we will grow by 10x in the next 10 years.
Right.
That means we will need 10x number of people to service that. Now, that is not something which from a business model can make sense, right?
Right.
So it is not about you. Your job is very much secure. It's just that in the future, we do not want
Right.
the growth to be at that rate. Secondly, today you find it difficult at times to be able to handle certain queries, certain requests,
Right.
purely because there is so much information.
Right.
There is so much information. There are tons of products. Her product का अपना variant है, and it is humanly impossible for anybody to remember everything.
Yeah, absolutely.
So ये aid, it is just like a textbook.
Right.
आपके लिए open book test है.
Right.
You have to rely on this bot to take away the mundane out of it,
Right.
because you are experts.
Right.
You have to solve the bigger queries. जहाँ पे customer को actual problem है,
Right.
आपको उस क्वेरी को सॉल्व करना है.
Right.
आपको उसको स्टेटमेंट का बैलेंस नहीं बताना, बिकॉज स्टेटमेंट का बैलेंस तो उसको बॉट बता देगा.
Right.
लेकिन स्टेटमेंट समझाना वो बॉट नहीं समझा पाएगा आज की डेट में, मे बी इन द फ्यूचर, बट आज की डेट में स्टेटमेंट समझा नहीं पाएगा. कस्टमर को अगर क्वेरी है कि ये इतना चार्ज क्यों लगा, कैसे लगा, वो आप समझा सकते हैं.
Right.
बट ये चार्जेस हुए हैं, क्या हुए, ये इस स्टेटमेंट में आप अपना 5 मिनट में से 3 मिनट का टाइम तो आप इसी में खर्च कर रहे हैं.
Absolutely.
So I think it's a change that takes time, but people do understand, and not just from an internal perspective, but when they get exposed to the entire environment, they realize
Right.
how important this is.
Absolutely. So now I'll jump to operations now, because, and I think I've seen you not only in SBI, I've seen you in other organizations also, how you have scaled up teams, and I think what we were discussing earlier also during the day that so when you're building up a team which can scale up operations, right, which can take care of the next targets, next milestone, and we have seen various journeys, right, in telecom also and banking also. So what do you think? What is that one factor which people generally overlook and which is generally result as a reason for disaster of an incompetent team which cannot handle a scale up operations or the volume when they start growing, right? So what are the key factor which people generally overlook and then they fail?
The one big factor is flexibility.
Okay.
Flexibility in processes, and I mentioned that earlier as well.
Right.
And flexibility in the use of technology.
Right.
Because a lot of times what we do is we try to find a solution to the immediate problem or the problem that is visible.
Right.
But जब हम scaling up की बात कर रहे हैं, scaling up is not for the foreseeable future. The scaling up has to be a model which is flexible to take it beyond what our vision is.
Right.
So it has to be flexible to take into account the changing processes, and processes keep on changing virtually every day.
Right.
So you have to make sure that the team is agile and the process is agile in itself to be able to make those changes and changes on the fly.
Right.
Second is technology. Again, going back, there is so much technology which is available and so much technology which is probably going to come in the future,
Right.
that वो technology आपको incorporate करनी पड़ेगी अपने processes में to make them more efficient. So
Right.
आप scale up करोगे जब तक आप flexible नहीं होगे to use the process and the technology both in place,
Right.
you will not be able to do that. The second most important thing is getting the people ready for.
Right.
So you have to train people for that.
Right.
So like they say, what made you successful today is not going to bring you success tomorrow.
Right.
It's the same here as well.
Right.
Now people have to be ready for the change, and you have to be cognizant of the fact. You have to make them cognizant of the fact that you have to be ready for change. You have to upskill yourself.
Right.
You have to be flexible. You have to be out there in the market. You should know what is happening, and as an organization,
Right.
we have to invest in upskilling them for the future,
Right.
because they are the ones who are going to take the next step forward.
Right. So my next question is, like you've been into businesses which are very sensitive toward regulatory and compliance requirement, right? So if you look into the kind of businesses you have been handling and the kind of new businesses which are now coming up in market, which are the next unicorns in the country or in the globe, are where there are three pillars. One is obviously the regulatory and compliance part. Other is the kind of scale and operation we aim at, we aspire to be, and third is the customer experience part. Now, three have very different kind of requirement. Like when you talk about regulatory compliances, they have no idea. They don't want to talk about anything else other than the compliance. And about scaling up, you obviously need a lot of things, right? So keeping all these three different pillars in hand, how do you think what is the right strategy to grow in such kind of environment? And you've been handling it. So I think it's tough balancing three different kind of objectives in one go.
No, you're absolutely right, and it's juggling these three balls, which is important, especially for people who are on the operating end.
Right.
And the fact is, regulations are here to stay. Regulations will be evolving, maybe even disrupting.
Right.
And there is a reason behind that. If you look at it, we've never really had a very great track record of self-regulation. Let's be honest about it. Right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
People have tried to use regulatory arbitrage, and some of them have succeeded, some of them have not succeeded. But the fact is that has actually brought down the sword on a lot of others as well.
Right.
Because see, if you look at the regulator is very clear. The regulator is very clear that customer protection is the paramount thing, right?
Right.
And for a business, ultimately, हम सब बोलते हैं consumer is the king of business, right?
Right.
So if you stick to that paradigm, the fact is that regulations which are to the benefit of the consumer ultimately will benefit business.
Right.
Short-term pain hogi,
Right.
but short-term pain will give you a long-term gain.
Right.
And we've seen that recently also with the master direction on
Right.
credit card and debit card. 1 year, the entire industry went to a tizzy. But the fact is, it brought a level playing field.
Right.
Activation norms are standardized now. You have a 12 plus 30 days inactivity grace. You've got a 37-day grace. So everything is on a common platform now, and
Right.
and it is to the customer's benefit. So
Right.
we have to keep ourselves, and going to the point that you made earlier of what one should keep in mind for scalable business, like I said, flexibility.
Right.
So another part of flexibility is being flexible to the regulatory changes which will happen, because
Right.
these are the need of the hour. Similarly, DPDPA,
Right.
the rules are going to come anytime, right? And it's going to be a big change. Consent management is a big thing, and it's going to be a big game changer in itself. People will not be able to use data willy-nilly the way they have been doing it earlier.
Right.
Hopefully, spam calls will come down because of that, because that is one of the stated intents as well.
Right.
But ये चीजें जो हैं, these are all there to make a robust, especially when we talk about financial services and fintech environment.
Right.
I think beyond a point, to make them robust and longer lasting, these are very, very important. Now, we're coming to the point that you ask, how do you juggle these balls?
Right.
It is important because you have to juggle these balls, keeping in mind, ultimately, if you're saying that the business has to work towards customer and what is good for the customer while keeping the business in mind,
Right.
these regulations will have to be incorporated in your processes and in the way that you do business.
Right.
So one is keeping an eye on what is happening, and second is making sure that these are incorporated as far as possible at two ends. One is
Right.
you have to have the right technology to be able to implement them. Second is there has to be an understanding at the front line
Right.
and the back end, and acceptance of the fact कि ये काम तो ऐसे ही चलेगा.
Right.
And the work has to happen like this.
Right.
So longer term, there are no shortcuts
Right.
to making a big business. Right?
But I think in shorter run, I think initial impact, I think on from a customer point of time, because you understand the compliances. You as a business, you understand the compliances. As a customer, I don't want to understand the compliances, right? I think there's a tiff which goes on, and at the same time, there are players who are not so sensitive to compliances, and so suddenly they become the preferred, say, go to the person. So how do you handle this business challenge?
No, you're so right, and we've seen that happening in the past. And but like I said, those will be short-term disruptions.
Right.
Those short-term disruptions, the consumer will realize over a period of time, and so will the players realize over a period of time, and they have realized
Right.
that the regulator is cracking the whip.
Right.
So you may end up doing business in the shorter term, but in the see, none of the businesses, very honestly, none of the businesses make money in the shorter term in any case.
Anyway.
Right? So this is we are not a non-profit organization, right? It is a business. End of the day, the purpose of the business is to make reasonable profit.
Right.
So if you're not going to make any reasonable profit,
Right.
you don't have the use of any of the regulatory arbitrage.
Absolutely.
So that understanding, I think, has come in very clearly for the businesses, and it is the businesses who were actually making it, giving the incentive to the customer.
Right.
So as long as the business doesn't give the incentive to the customer is not going to go and try and cut any corners themselves.
Great. So again, I'll come to your one of I think challenge which you handle. I think is that you manage more than 100+ locations, like it's spread over operations, right? And then, in fact, downloading the same spread in terms of from compliance point of view, from scalability point of view, from customer retention point of view, from customer experience point of view. How do you manage that flow of the true spirit of a business to the entire team at all levels, front end and back end, everything? What is that mantra?
So my leadership style is very simple. First of all, it is you do not manage your team from the corner room.
Right.
You have to be out there in the front, because they need to see the leader walk the talk.
Bang on. Yeah.
And when I say walk the talk, there are two things. One is you have to be very clear and transparent in what you want.
Right.
So target kya hai? See, you have to give the people what the target is. And what I've really seen work is what I call give them a war cry.
Right.
एक ऑब्जेक्टिव, एक एंड ऑब्जेक्टिव अगर आप टीम को दे देंगे कि हमारा एंड ऑब्जेक्टिव ये है,
Right.
and then you tell and you communicate it very clearly to the team that this is the end objective, we have to reach this milestone, right? And then say you work towards it together as a team to achieve this.
Right.
Do not interfere too much in terms of how you go about doing it.
Right.
You may sit back and monitor it, but you actually tell them that this is the target. You go and figure out what is the best way to achieve it while keeping the entire framework in mind.
Right.
So the transparency in terms of clearing and setting a target, and second is in terms of making sure कि जो whatever is the progress and whatever is happening,
Right.
that is communicated very clearly to everybody.
Right.
There will be some things which are you will not compromise on. Regulation, compliances, customer sensitivity, those are things that you will never ever. Those are zero tolerance, like say ZTP hai. Those are you will never compromise on that. That is something that has to be reiterated every time.
Right.
And there is there is no two ways about it. You cannot reiterate it too much. So those things have to go down, and then you, the management team, the senior management team, the leadership team has to actually walk that talk. They have to every time reinforce and make sure that this is something that is drilled down into everybody.
I was reading about it. I think you have done something called straight through processing to improve efficiency. So what was this, and how does it help you in terms of improving the customer satisfaction at SBI?
So STP is simply the fact that, you know, what the entire journey that the customer has should be simplest and there should be no step backward. So everything that passes through should happen in one click.
Okay.
And you do not come back to the customer does not need to come back to you. Let's take the example of a simple onboarding. Customer ने application दी, now application processing में 10 different steps हैं.
Right.
It can fall out at any one of these 10 different steps.
Right.
It could be because of incomplete information, it could be because of incorrect information, it could be because of a lot of other things.
Right.
But how do we make sure that this entire journey happens with seamlessly from the start to finish in the fastest possible time before it jumps a step backward?
Right.
So you need to break down the processes into its elements and find out where the elements are, where you have maximum breakages.
Right.
And then plug those breakages, make it difficult if not impossible for error to happen at that stage.
Right.
You know, for example, simple चीज़ है, अगर आपने address incomplete है,
Right.
it will not match with the KYC, you will not be able to do a verification, so the application complete goes for a toss. So how do you make sure that the address is complete and correct?
Right.
That is the biggest reason for RTB, what you call return to bank, for applications, because you cannot take an application forward if there is incomplete information.
Right.
So we broke that down into the elements
Right.
which were there and made sure that, as I say, idiot proof some of them,
Right.
so that there is very little chance of an error being made on that.
Right.
And we found that there was a nearly 30% increase in pass through. What it really means is, कस्टमर को हमने बोला कि आपको कार्ड 3 दिन में मिल जाएगा, 7 दिन में मिल जाएगा, वो आपको मिलेगा.
Right.
Because the entire chain is designed to deliver in that period.
Right.
Otherwise, if I have to take a step back, obviously time will get elongated.
Right.
So that will spoil the entire experience. Not just the experience, the customer will come back to me. I will have to go back to the customer. So there will be so much of interaction, and interaction end of the day is not good for customer experience, neither is it good for operational efficiency.
Absolutely.
So that was one clear, vector that we looked at to make sure that everything was passing through seamless.
I love that statement. Make it difficult to do error and idiot proof, I believe. I think
Yeah.
that sums up it all. And I think now moving on to now, obviously, customer acquisition is one channel for any business to grow. Retention plays a critical role because that is where you have already spent money, you have already have a relationship in place. So what is the most effective strategy for you for customer retention, especially with SBI we talk about?
So interesting, because this is a question that I keep on getting asked pretty unique, that what is it that makes a customer come to you and what is it that makes a customer stay with you?
Right.
So I always say that what makes a customer come to you is the brand promise that you have.
Right.
What is it that you promised?
Right.
And what makes him or her stay with you is you keeping that promise.
Right.
So as long as you are delivering on the promise that you made,
Right.
so be very careful about the promises that you're making, right?
Right.
So make the promises that you are able to keep.
Right.
So that's the bottom line of making sure that you have a long engagement with the customer.
Right.
But on an operational level, I think the biggest thing that need to look at, and I mentioned that in one of the earlier discussions, was in terms of predicting the chances of a customer going bad, going out of the system.
Yeah.
So, and there are enough and more triggers, of a customer falling usages, and a customer who has repeatedly coming to you, a customer who has repeatedly called you, customer who's repeatedly writing to you. Obviously, there is something which is the customer is not happy with.
Right.
And those are triggers for you to try and do proactive retention before the customer really comes to you and says, "बहुत हो गया भैया, no, let's part ways."
Right.
So before that eventuality, because then it becomes very difficult for you to retain them. Right?
Right.
You retain it, but then it is easier for you to retain when the customer is still in the frame of mind to listen to you.
Listen to you. That's
Once the customer is decided to go, it becomes that much more difficult.
Right.
So that is the predictive strategy that we engaged.
right.
But obviously, there are some customers who are going to come.
Right.
What is important there is to go and identify what is the actual reason for the retention, and then be able to
Right.
tailor make an offer for you.
Right.
So, आप आ रहे हैं because you find the fee to be high. You are coming because you find something did not happen. We made somebody made an error, somebody made a false promise, whatever. Is it possible for me to recover that service?
Right.
Within the framework that we have as a business, right? As long as it is possible, we empower the agent.
Right.
We empower the agent to do it then and there itself, because timing is very important.
Right.
आप अगर किसी को बोलेंगे अच्छा मैं ना अपने बॉस से पूछ के बताऊंगा कि मैं आपको ये दे सकता हूँ नहीं दे सकता, तो कस्टमर के पास इतना टाइम नहीं है,
खत्म हो
तो बोलेगा पहले कार्ड बंद कर दीजिए.
Right.
And in any case now with the new rules, in any 7 days you have to in any case close the
gaya.
card,
The
right?
card. Right.
So it is important that we empower so that the person on the front line can engage
Right.
and retain you with the best offer which is possible.
So my next question is, now, since we're talking about technology, digital initiatives, and all those things, so I'm sure now I think almost on a daily basis you are initiating a new project or something like that. So what are the key matrices which you think are these are the basic matrices which I would like to put in any project or any initiative we take? What are the key matrices for you?
So the first thing that we measure is what is the customer's VOC, and very simply coming from the customer themselves, right?
Right.
In fact, I launched a program which we call GEMS. Go extra mile for customers for servicing.
Great.
Right? GEMS, and we made a gem, and why the reason was, like I said earlier, it was a war cry for us,
Right.
because we said that ultimately it is not what we think that the customer is saying, it is what the customer is saying, right? The customer has made up his or her mind,
Right.
and the customer is going to give a score to us.
Right.
So a score between 1 to 5, 1 being very poor and 5 being good.
Right.
So we said that every interaction we'll get the customer to score us,
Right.
and we'll do the analysis later.
Right.
Was it because of the interaction, or was it because of any other reason, that the customer was not happy with us? But the fact is that even if you are able to get that,
Right.
and if you have a detractor, and we count 1 and 2 as a detractor,
Right.
and we are able to recover that service,
Right.
then the game has changed for us.
Right.
Because if somebody who is saying that he is or she is extremely unhappy,
Right.
means really there is something wrong.
Absolutely.
And if you can go back and recover that service,
Right.
it becomes easier for you to understand where the chain is breaking.
Right.
Because it could be just that incident,
Right.
but quite often it may not just be the incident. It may point out to a deeper issue, which is a systemic issue for you to catch. So we go back and check on that. So this is one big thing that we propounded, and we said this is one number that we're going to look at seamlessly across, right? The GEM score. And top 5 raters, they were awarded, they were given. So it has become a culture. GEMS raters is a culture.
Right.
So that is one important thing to look at. But from a digital perspective, I think 2 big matrices that we track and anybody needs to track is, one is what is the digital deflection?
Okay.
How much of the contacts and how much of the request inquiries are being handled digitally
Right.
end to end, without any human intervention.
Yeah.
And finally, the third biggest thing obviously is in terms of the overall demand management. Anybody in contact center would today say the fact is that, and I firmly believe that any form of a customer initiated contact
Right.
means there is a defect.
Right.
So ultimately, if your demand goes down,
Right.
that means that the process and the technology is working,
It's working.
because the customer is not coming to you for any complaint or an issue or even a query.
Right.
Because even the query should be something that the customer should be able to digitally manage.
Right.
Why is it the customer needs to come to you for a query or a
Right.
request, right? Customer may come to you for a complaint.
Right.
Hopefully he or she should not, but they will come to you for a complaint. But for a query or a request,
Right.
the digital deflection and the QRC should be virtually nil. So the target is that you track those matrices very, very closely, that how much of your volume is coming because of which particular reasons.
Right.
And in the end, the proof of the pudding obviously is in usage and retention. So
Right.
the one metric that the business needs to look at, forget about customer engagement or marketing or any, but the fact is that if the usage of the customer is going up, if the customer retentions are high,
Right.
it means that something
It's
is
working
working
fine.
right.
Yeah. Great. So I think to nutshell, it's that the best support is when the customer don't need any support from you.
Absolutely. So somebody asked me that now, what do you think about the customer services team? So, the customer services team should not exist
Yeah.
in my mind. And so I'm the biggest probably proponent of the fact of eating away my own job. But the fact is that, it should be the most redundant
Right.
job in a business organization,
Right.
because the processes should work seamlessly themselves.
You have now more than, I think, 28 years of experience in this field, right? So if you have to advise a younger professional in customer experience field, what are those top 5 or 7 advices which you like to give?
I'll just give them one piece of advice.
Right.
One is, first, be ready for the brickbats,
Okay.
because irrespective of where the issue lies, you are the one who's going to get hauled up,
Okay.
because that is the first thing that the customer calls up the contact center, writes an email, whatever. The first touch point of an agreed customer is the customer services
Right.
unit. So while 99% of the problems may not be created by you,
Right.
but you are the one who's going to
Address.
resolve the issue for that, right? So be ready for the brickbats. You should be very, very, very thick-skinned for that, to take that, because
Great.
because it becomes very, very difficult. And I've seen agents, we've seen on calls, agent taking 60 calls, 70 calls in a day,
Right.
out of which 20 calls really the customer is berating them, and so it becomes very, very difficult for somebody to keep on listening. And then
Absolutely.
end of the day, बच्चा ये बच्चा इसमें मेरी क्या गलती है, right? इसमें मेरी क्या गलती है, right? वो अब ये नहीं हुआ because the card did not work because of X reason. मैंने तो नहीं आप वो कार्ड दिया था, right? So but I will help you
Right.
resolve it. So that is what I tell the people. You are not creating the problem, but by solving this issue,
Right.
you are the one who is actually helping in recovering the service and creating the brand.
Right.
Because गलती तो होगी, देखिए बिजनेस में गलती तो होगी.
Right.
So it is important गलती को rectify करना and make sure that the customer stays with you is more important than anything else.
Right.
And the second thing that every, not only customer experience individual, I would say everybody should keep abreast of is the fact is you should be hands-on with technology.
Right.
You should know what technology can do.
Right.
More importantly, you should know what technology cannot do.
Right.
Because I think we somewhere, all of us think that technology is a panacea.
Right.
ये रामबाण इलाज है.
Right.
हर प्रॉब्लम का चीज़ है, टेक्नोलॉजी फेंक दो उसके ऊपर. And I always say that is not,
Right.
digitizing or automating a broken process will not make it better.
Right.
You'll just have a broken version, digital version of a broken process.
Right. Right.
So look at the process first before you end up digitizing it or automating it.
Right.
So I think those are my two
Piece of advice.
bits of advice to.
Great. I think absolutely wonderful. I think I've learned a lot from you in, I think, last 40 minutes, I believe. And will not take much of your time. So we have just kept a small rapid fire kind of round where we are just
okay.
10 questions and so just one liner for
So I'm in the firing line now.
no, not in firing line, but I think wisdom, I think in small packets. That's how I will put it into that. Whatever comes in your mind, I think that's the beauty of this go round is. So what's the one quality every customer experience leader must have it? So I think
Empathy.
empathy. Great. If you could automate one aspect of customer experience, what would it be?
I think I'll take away requests completely.
Okay.
There should not be, and I mentioned that earlier as well, that there should not be any need for a customer to come to me for queries. Typically होना ही नहीं चाहिए. Request के लिए भी customer को मेरे पास नहीं आना चाहिए. Customer will come to me only when there is a complaint.
Complaint. Great. So describe the future of digital transformation in 3 words.
Do or die.
Great. And what's your go-to mantra for operational excellence?
If you don't do it, somebody else will do it, and you will lose market.
Great. The biggest misconception about customer experience is
That the customer service function owns it. Everybody in the organization is
right.
equally responsible for customer experience.
So one lesson which you have learned from your mentor that you'll never forget.
Very simple, but very effective.
Right.
And I'll take 2 minutes to expand on that also. It is to put yourself in your customer's shoes.
Right.
And this came to me from my mentor, who was not a customer services person.
Right.
He was my CFO.
Okay.
And like it or not, I was the collection head then,
Right.
and reporting into the CFO. And I found a small shoe on his desk,
Right.
right? And I asked him, sir, ये क्या है? This is one shoe. मतलब एक बड़ा अच्छा सा
Right. Right.
लेदर का इतना सा shoe बना हुआ था. मैंने कहा ये क्या है sir? What is this that you keep on your table? I
Right.
took up the courage once to ask him. And that is when he said, this is to remind me to put myself in my customer's shoe.
Oh, loved it.
So that is something that has really stuck in my mind
Right.
always. Right?
Absolutely amazing, I think. AI in customer service, a game changer or just an hype?
AI is a tool. It depends on how you use it. If you use it effectively, it will transform for you. If you do not use it effectively, then you'll be saddled with it.
Oh, great. Okay. So if you could eliminate one common customer pain point, what it would be?
Oh, IVR for sure.
Okay.
For sure, I think IVR as a user,
Right.
that's one thing that I typically abhor. The entire journey of an IVR is something that I think is so passe.
Absolutely, I agree. Okay. And what's the best advice you would give it to someone starting in the customer service experience field now?
Be careful about what are the matrices
Right.
that you track on and what you get tracked.
Right.
Because it's very easy to get lost in a plethora of these matrices.
Right.
You should be focused on what is the end outcome that you want to deliver and work towards that one end outcome.
To describe your ideal customer service team in one sentence, what would be that?
The entire organization.
Right.
It is the entire organization that has to come together, because
Right.
every touch point, starting from pre-sales
Right.
to retention, is somewhere where you're connecting with the brand. So
Right.
you are servicing the customer, you're engaging with the customer.
Right.
Customer services team, like I said earlier, is just, we are just the face, the first go-to person, and you're not
Right.
the only torchbearers, for customer experience.
I agree that. Great, sir. I think what we have learned in 45 minutes, I think more than that we have learned in 10 minutes also. So I think this is
Well, thank
actually
you so much. It was a difficult rapid fire, and I hope that I passed it on that.
No, obviously, but there's a lot to learn from you. I think every word is a wisdom. So absolutely pleasure talking to you, and thank you for again coming here and sparing your time for that.
No,
So
it's a pleasure
thanks a lot.
to share my thoughts and to interact with you, to understand and reflect on all the journeys that have happened, and to understand how to take these things forward. So thank you for this opportunity to share my thoughts.
Great. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.